And good morning and welcome to Touch Base Daily. My name is Ron Foster, touching base with you every day as we always do. We had a great game night last night. I had a great weekend. It is the weekend, y'all. It is Motivation Monday. We just catch up with one another on Motivation Monday and leave the day with some motivation. We leave this segment with a motivational quote. So I hope you had a great weekend. I did. I was busy. My weekend started busy on Friday morning, and it was a long, busy weekend, nonstop. My buddy is here from Namibia, so I have been playing host. And also I had a project that I was doing on Friday night. Shout out to the Fort Greene Conservancy, who hired me to photograph their event called The Fling. And so I'm going to get some photos over to them today. Had a great time seeing some of my neighbors and all the folks there. That was really great. I look forward to The Fling every year. And it's a great way of raising money for our Fort Greene Park, our beloved Fort Greene Park, because we who were raised in Brooklyn are connected to Fort Greene Park. And so it's been a great weekend, a little exhausting, but it was great. Then on Saturday, we had our meetup. We had our Saturday meetup. We met our meetup was on Riverside Drive. I should say Riverside Park on the Hudson. And so we did the whole walkthrough and photographed the newer part of Riverside Park, and then we blended into the old. And it was a great day for photography. It was hot. I mean, it was 80, so I think it was 81 or 82 degrees on Saturday. I'm like, where's the cool weather? Where's autumn? Where is autumn? And but it was absolutely a beautiful day. We all gathered. Several of us came together and took some great photos, I'm sure. I know I got some great photos. Something that's really beautiful about the west side, the Riverside Park. And we noticed the beauty of these amazing, large, weeping willow trees. They were so beautiful, these willow trees. And I said, these have to be some of the best looking willow trees in New York. I know that they have a beautiful one at the Bronx Botanical Garden, or we call it the New York Botanical Garden. And I don't think they have one as beautiful in the Brooklyn Botanical Garden. These weeping willows were so huge, and they were just lined up along the Hudson River in the Riverside Park. And we came across about 7 or 8 of them. And we're like, wow, these are really beautiful. At least I was saying they were beautiful. I was like, well, this is great. Anyway, so we got out, had just some major walking, cycled to Riverside Park from Brooklyn with my buddy, Paul. It was a good way to show him New York. You know, the best way to see New York is on a bike. The best way to see New York City is get on a city bike, pay for what they call a day pass, and then just ride throughout the day. And so he did that, and I have obviously my own pass because I have a membership. And so we just rode around, and then we went to Riverside, and then after that, we hung out and just kind of like chilled out a little bit, and then we got back on the bike and rode all the way up to Grant's Tomb, so he can see Grant's Tomb and all the park area, the Riverside Church, and all those the beautiful architecture along the Riverside. If you have never been to New York City, you definitely need to take a nice bike ride or a bus ride, if you can, along the Riverside Drive. Riverside Drive is absolutely beautiful. Some of the most beautiful mansions from the 1800s and early 1900s, just what do you call it? Just on the perimeter of Manhattan. That is the last houses on the island facing the Hudson. And they're so beautiful. Beautiful apartment buildings, pre-war, or I should say post-war. It's just beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So that was a great way to start the weekend with work, but then also had a chance to spend time with my buddy Paul. And then yesterday was his family time, hung out with my brothers, and we got together. And then Paul joined us. They got to meet they got to meet Paul, and now they feel secure of me leaving to go to Namibia. Now they want to go to Namibia. So we had a great time yesterday. We were supposed to meet one of my other friends, she and I, who I stayed in South Africa with. She's in town, so we're going to have lunch with her today. And so, yeah, it was a beautiful weekend, being out with others, spending time with others. How was your weekend? That's enough for me. I came out the box talking about me. How was your weekend? What was your weekend like? How did you spend it? What was on your agenda this weekend? And as you think about it and you start posting, I want to say hello to some folks. One is hello, number one today is our wonderful Hannah. She says, good morning, Ron and Touch Base Daily family. I'm going to be out and about this morning, but I will definitely be listening. Love to you all. Thank you, Hannah. And make sure everybody that's in the building, make sure you hit the likes. Make sure you hit the likes. And so that way we can generate people, let the algorithms know that people are listening and are here. Also in second place this morning with the silver medal is Arlicia. I love saying her name, Arlicia Mays. She's in the building. She says, Hannah, good morning. And I'm sure she meant the good morning for everyone. So Arlicia is in the building. And the wonderful, marvelous, good morning, G.R. Houston Jack, my work wife. She's been taking some time and spending time with her honey and her hubby, and just taking some cyber time off a couple for the weekend and last week. And look who's in the building today. Omar Ramos, one of our pillars in the building, one of our pillars in the community is in the building. Nice to see you, Omar. Jazzy Jazz is in the building. Good morning, beautiful people, she says. And Omar said, that's me. And Elise is in the building. She's in the building too. Says, good morning, everyone. And we will be talking about this incident that happened, was it yesterday? Church service. People go to church service, and then next thing you know, they're in a blade. The church is, people are shot, and then the church is set ablaze. America. This is America. This is America. And it is, I don't know if you guys, have you guys seen that news yesterday? Absolutely. And then there was another shooting somewhere else. I think it wasn't Texas. I don't think it was Texas. I think it was North Carolina. North Carolina also had an incident. Michigan, North Carolina, above all there's others that I'm sure happened as well. They just probably didn't make it to the news because America is not a safe space, not a safe place for people. Bryson's in the building. Bryson says, what's up, Ron? What's up, everybody? Happy Money Making Monday. The last month of September, heading to October. Yes, September begins on Wednesday. October begins on Wednesday. September ends on Wednesday. On Tuesday. So there we have it. Hannah and Kelly A's in the building. She says, good morning. Again, make sure you hit those likes. Make sure you hit the likes and let people know we are here. And Hannah says, good morning, GR Houston Jack Gwendolyn. I know you are still high from anniversary week. I know you guys had the best of times. You know, I called Gwendolyn. And then the next thing you know, she said, oh, we're just here looking at a movie and have my popcorn. I said, oh, say no more. I'm out. She was having her anniversary day, spending her anniversary day watching movies and having popcorn with her hubby. I was like, oh, I'm out. Nope. No, I won't be talking to you too long. Not 1 second longer than I have to. Goodbye. And I'm sure she went back to her popcorn eating because we all love some popcorn. Jazzy said, it was great. Drove down to see my nieces in North Carolina. Lots of family time. Good job, Jay-Z. Did I just say Jay-Z? Jazzy. Jazzy. Good job, Jazzy. Oh my gosh. Sleep. Sleep. We need our sleep. Janet says, Monday greetings all. And Omar says, I'm alive. I'm alive. And G says, Hannah, I literally just pushed a layer of confetti off the desk to start working. We had a great time last week. Yeah, check out all of the Gwendolyn's she's been busy. She's been working her tail off. Y'all need to check out her channel. Make sure you go to GR Houston Jack and go to her all her postings. And she's been working hard to support her YouTube channel. Check her out. Kelly says, Lord have mercy. And North Carolina. And G says, good morning, Kelly A. Good morning, good morning. I see all the good mornings, good mornings, good mornings, good mornings to the Ramoses. Okay. Bryson says, Bad Bunny is doing Apple Music Super Bowl halftime show, and Republicans are upset and enraged. Yeah, well, they originally, I do believe they were supposed to have Taylor Swift, but she turned it down and made room for Bad Bunny, which I was like, why are they asking Taylor Swift again? She's already done it. Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny is an amazing performer. I do believe from the island, from the United States island of Puerto Rico. Yes. And Bad Bunny is amazing. He's a good artist, great artist. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I see all the good mornings. Make sure you hit those likes so that people know you're here. And let's see. Bryson says, who's ready for Bryson, once he gets on it, he's in it. Bryson, who's ready for Bad Bunny? Anybody listen to Latin music? I love Latin music. I love music from around the globe. So I'm not stuck to one type of music. I have a vast and eclectic sounds that I like to listen to. Hey, look who else is in the building today. It's the wonderful David Moscato. Good morning, all, he says. So what else? Anyone else did anything this weekend? No one else did anything other than Jazzy? Jazzy is the only one that did something this weekend? I mean, Gwendolyn did clean up her confetti. What else? What else did you do this weekend? We had like I said, we had a great game night last night. Elise was popped in, and Chris R was in there, and Diva to the max. She was the MVP. But hey, we had a great night as usual on our Sunday nights, Wednesday nights, and Friday nights. We get together for game night, and it was absolutely a lot of fun for all. It's not late when you're out on the West Coast, but it's just late when it's here in New York City because we start at 11:30. But you know how it rolls. Okay. Chris says, good morning. And Omar says, Bad Bunny is the biggest name going. It will be epic. I cannot wait to see it. I'm sure he's going to have a lot of Puerto Rican entertainers joining him on that platform, because there's a camaraderie that I mean, he is about. He's about camaraderie, and I think that's going to be beautiful. G says she likes a few of Bad Bunny songs. Yeah, he's a great entertainer. He's one of the top entertainers in our today, right? And she said, no, the confetti is still here. She just kind of like brushed it to the side. The confetti girl is in the building. Jay says, I don't think Taylor Swift did the Super Bowl. I could be wrong, though. I thought she did the Super Bowl at one time. Can anyone confirm? Did Taylor Swift ever do the Super Bowl? For some reason, I think she did. I don't know why I think she did. Maybe not. I may be wrong. Elise says, I spent Sunday on my monthly artist date. Nice. Elise says she also, let me get this button. There we go. What's that? The button stuck. There we go. My daughter loves Bad Bunny. A lot of people love Bad Bunny. I like Bad Bunny. I can't tell you any of the names of the songs, but I do like the songs. I love listening to the beats. Yeah, you know how it goes. You know Bad Bunny. And Jazzy says Bad Bunny was a good choice. I can't say I know a lot of his songs, but I know his performances are always great. Yes, I've seen him perform on, I think, some of the award shows. I've seen him perform on Saturday Night Live. I want to say he's done Saturday Night Live twice. I think he has. I know I've seen it. Maybe it was just I know he had one full show on Saturday Night Live. So we'll see. It's going to be good. I think it's going to be great. How many people watch the football? Watch the Super Bowl. Speaking of the Super Bowl. Really? Elise says she has never done the Super Bowl. Taylor Swift has never done the Super Bowl? Holy moly. Did not know that. Bryson says Jay-Z. Now we can say Jay-Z. Bryson says Jay-Z made the decision. He made the right call. Yeah, because Jay-Z and his company are responsible for the halftime show, I think. Oh, interesting. All we gotta do is ask Chat GPT, and we'll get the answer. Watching the Super Bowl depends on the teams playing, says Gwendolyn. Yes. So again, make sure you hit the likes. Let's see what else is happening in the world today. She says, Alicia says, hopefully the National Guard and ICE don't interrupt the celebration. Could you imagine? Bryson says, yeah, Rico Nation, or should say Rock Nation, made the decisions, makes the decisions. And okay, there we go. So there was a couple of things I wanted to bring to your attention, and one was obviously Don Lemon did something this morning, and I want to go with it, and I'll get I'm going to ask you your opinion on this. Don was talking about a situation that happened to him this weekend at Madison Square Garden, how this white guy approached him, and it worked out for the best, but just. And Joy Reid, I think we already talked about Joy Reid mentioning it. Can someone tell me, why are white men so angry? Why are white men so angry? And Don did a good intro to this whole subject, and I think in some cases we need to be like the Republicans. We need to repeat. If something's a good message, we all should be repeating it, because that's how people become educated. Obviously, we know that in the MAGA world and the Republican world, they get one message and you hear it on every channel, every news station, everyone says the same exact, literally word for word. Now, I'm not doing that word for word, but the subject matter needs to be addressed, and we need to be thinking about it all the time. Why are white men so angry? Why are, the narrative is always black on black crime, but can we all say, they need to put the narrative of white on white crime? Because every time there's a mass shooting in America, who are they? What do they look like? They all look the same. They come from the same place. They are so angry. Why are they so angry? I like the way Joy said, I can't say it on, I don't use the F word, but I don't drop the F bomb. But she said, why are you so effing angry? Why? You have everything. The world is created around you. You have done, your ancestors have done everything to destroy other cultures and do this and that, and you have everything. There is no reason for you to be angry. Why are white men angry? It's like Conway, I think it's Conway, I think it's Galloway. He talks about all the time the white male crisis. the most dangerous people I think ChatGPT would bring it up. Anyone hit ChatGPT and figure it out. I think if you put it into ChatGPT, the most dangerous population in America are white men. The demographic, that's the best word. The most dangerous. Why are white young men, why are white middle-aged men, why are old white men angry? Why are they so freaking angry? I know. Here's my own incident. This happened to me 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. I was doing some duties for I can't say that because then the people know who it is. I was doing some of my responsibilities here in the city, and I was in a conversation, and I talked about Zoran's going to win the mayoral election. Speaking of the mayoral election, Adams had dropped out yesterday. He was not going to win. He was at the bottom of the poll. He's gone. Adams is no longer running. And I looked at my no, he's not my buddy. He's my colleague. And we used to work together at the stock exchange. Well, he worked in a position at the stock exchange. I did another position at the stock exchange. And I vaguely remembered him. And I was like, I know you from somewhere, but I don't know where I remember you from. And then he said, yeah, I used to work at the stock exchange with you. And I was like, okay. But I couldn't place him exactly where I needed to. And then the moment of reveal happened. Literally, he opened his mouth in such anger and venomous words against Mondani. And I said, what did this man do to you? He goes, it was like, I hate this man. I hate him. I was like, what did Zoran do to you? What, he hates the Jews. I said, there's no evidence of that. You've never heard Zoran say, I hate the Jews. Why would you say that? And then it came back to me. I was like, oh, I remember him. I remember him because he was the same. God forbid he sees this, but it's the truth. He was being a jerk. And he was known for being a jerk back in the stock exchange, back in the day. This was 30 years ago. He was a jerk then, and he was a jerk now on certain matters. He is a hardcore Republican, hardcore Trump supporter, hardcore. But angry. I'm sitting there like, why? And so when Don told his story today, I said, yes. And we all have our incidents. Especially Black men, we always have these incidents with our white counterparts. And this is not all white men are angry. But there are so many of the white men that are. It makes you say, why? And if you are a Republican angry white man or a mega angry white man, what are you angry about? You won the elections, whether you won it fair and square or you did it. You had the cyber bros and the tech bros you may have done whatever they did to get the election won. You did not like Kamala. You hated her because she was a woman. You hated her because she was Black. She did not win. But why are you so angry? Why are white men so angry in this country? They have everything. They have everything. I still don't understand it. When we go for a job interview, I was looking at an article. Was it Saturday? was a pro, it was a program. It was a program I was watching, and they were talking about how Black men are always climbing this hill that has, like oil on it. They can't go forward because the oil is the path that they go on it's rich with oil and slick. It's slick. So you keep falling backwards. And they put in the Black women in those positions just to meet the quota that they get the woman and they get the Black person is a lot of these companies. But then you see the white guys, they got the leadership roles. They're the ones that are the managers. They're the ones that are the CEOs. They're the ones that run these companies. They're the ones that get loans. They're the ones that get everything. But yet they're so angry. They think everyone is out to get them. What is wrong with America? White men. And it's not, I know you're going to say just America. This is happening in London, UK. This is happening in Paris and France and all around the world. Why are white people so angry? White men in America are so angry because they're angry white men around the world, but they're not shooting up churches. They're not shooting up games and malls and going into restaurants and going into grocery stores or shooting people that are speaking in a public forum. No, all of them are the same. They all look alike. They're all young, the ones that are doing the shootings. But there's some middle-aged ones too. But why are white men so freaking angry? We should be angry. 350,000 Black women that were ousted out of their jobs because they were Black, pretty much, should be angry. But yet, you don't see Black women running around the streets shooting up anything. You don't see Black women online talking hatred. White men have all the power. Why are the Steve Millers of the world so angry? Bannon, all of these people. Why is the orange man so angry? Anything that Obama has done, he is always trying to. The only reason why he wants the Nobel Prize is because Obama got it, received it. Why are white men so angry? And I'm with Don this morning. Don was saying it this morning, and I was saying it. I said, you know what? I feel the same freaking way. I feel the same way. Every time we go turn on the news, there's a shooting. Mass shootings, and they're not. Yes, there are Black people shooting. There are Black people committing shooting incidents, but the mass shootings in America are white men. Oh yeah, Don went in this morning. I was like, brother, amen. I said, you better preach, Don. You better preach. Why are white men so angry? Let me find what you guys are saying. I know you guys I've been ranting. I am just baffled by the whole thing in America. Why are white men shooting up places? Why are white men feel it's their duty to just get up? And again, like Don was saying this morning, he was saying, white men, you're just like us. Meaning, most of you are not rich. And the rich people that pin you against others are taking glee in your stupidity in doing what you do, in your racist behavior. They pin you against other people. They make you feel like the migrant has your job. The migrant doesn't have your job. White men have the advantage in America. Right? I know I shouldn't even say this, but I have to say it. When this is New York City, and my friends know me because my friends, I'm very transparent. And some of you might think this is racist, but it's not. If I'm walking on 42nd Street, and now it's happening in my neighborhood because my neighborhood is becoming more white, this neighborhood. And I see a white man peddling for money, either on the streets, in the corners, Midtown Manhattan, subway. And I go, what's your story? What happened in your life so bad with all of the advantages in America for white people? And you are begging on the train for money. Or and that's not to say there's no bad times for white folks. They're poor white people. They're poor white people. Just like there's poor black people. But what happened in your life that you are on the subway pedaling or right here on the corner with your sign up when you have the advantage? You have extra access to things that we don't have just by you walking in the building and being white. I mean, there are even countries, I don't know if you guys ever heard about this, but places like China and some of the Asian countries, but mainly China, they hire white people to represent their face of their companies. You could be a mediocre white person and sign up for a job and go to live in China and be the face of a company. This exists in the world. I don't understand why white men are so angry. Someone tell me. Someone please help me. I wish I could have a call-in dial, like someone and speak to. Oh, Margaret from Mexican is speaking right now. Let me see what you guys are saying. Hey, Dr. Tachi's in the building. What's going on, Dr. Tachi? Jazzy says, that's the $1 million question. Why are white men so angry that they're killing people? Oh, sorry, unaliving people and shooting up things. And what is happening in this country where you used to say there's one place I could go to that's going to be safe, and that is a church, a synagogue, a mosque, a Hindu temple. You would say these are places that were off limits of, but no, these people go right into these places. And Gwendolyn says, maybe they're angry because they have realized all the lies they've been told are just that, lies. Oh, Don Lemon mentioned that too. He did say that. Maybe they're angry because they have realized that all the lies they've been told are just that, lies. That immigrant is taking your job. No, it isn't. You're mediocre. You didn't get your education. Some of the highest dropout rates is what? White young men. Elise says, because they are mediocre. And she says, if you were told you're extra special and then find out you're not. Jazzy says, yes, Ron, we need to repeat the truth at all times. We need to keep repeating this. Because you go in those circles, they're saying, oh, it's always black on black crime. Oh, the black on black crime. We got to address the black on black crime. Oh, no. Contraire, as they like to say, as I used to say back in the old days, contraire. The biggest crime in America is white on white, not black on black. There's black on black crime, But there's the largest number of crimes, white on white. Mass shootings, white men. White men. Why are they so angry? Arlisa says the men, women, the kids. Elise says exactly. Jazzy said that has the target going. Omar says because intelligence is not inheritable. Woo. G says, and with the rhetoric they're spreading, they're probably not getting enough sexual healing too. Just saying, there are statistics. If you went to your chat GPT, or if you go to, like I have my Copilot up here, I can really punch it in right now and just ask it. White young men are having less sex. White young men are dating less. White young men have very few relationships beyond the screen of gaming. Relationships with others is a very important need for human beings. We need to hug each other. We need to embrace. We need to spend time with other humans. And these gamers, a lot of these, you see that a lot of and it's not blaming on the gamers. I mean, the gaming, world. But a lot of these shooters spend their days on computers playing games, no interactions with others, no interactions with human beings. Like I told you, my incident I was sharing with my Uber driver several weeks ago, in the beginning of September, when I was leaving Adrian's house. He was telling me about his son. He says, "Son, you have to get away from the computer." He's a white guy, and we were just talking about life, and he says, my son refuses to leave the computer. He does not have any social connections, and I'm afraid for him. White men who are sane need to have conversations with their white counterparts, their white sons, and say, dude, you have to get away from the computer just a moment to interact with human beings, because it's easy to shoot someone. Sorry, computer, didn't mean to talk to you. It's easy to take someone's life when you don't see them as humans. If you're not having interactions with humanity, it makes it easier to pull the trigger. It makes it easier to set a church on fire every single week, every day. And like we all know, there's mental illness everywhere in the world, but no one does it like America. As in the mass killings every day of the week. Jelly says, because they are being lied to, and the lie is bigger than the truth. That's why I have very low tolerance for independent media that repeats the lie as if it is true. It is propaganda. Kimmy Kim says, good morning, Ron and family. Cass says, motivated Monday. Yes, it is. G says, good morning. Agree. Lee says, I agree, Jazzy. Jazzy also says, mass media, unfortunately, is owned by those who want to spread the eyes. So there's not a lot to prevent the propaganda that they are spreading. But when I see independent media falling right in line with, Mimi's in the building. Make sure you hit the likes again if you're in the building. You're here for the first time. Hit the likes and subscribe if you want to. Mimi says, good day, Ron and RLP crew. Yeah, this is the theme. I mean, like I said, Joy Reid mentioned this a couple of weeks ago. It was like 2 weeks ago. Why are you so effing angry? Why are white men so effing angry? Like the guy that walked up to Don Lemon in the street. and called him out of his name. Why? It's like my brother. We were talking yesterday. We were in the car yesterday. The guy was in the wrong and on the bike. And then my brother tells him, dude, you are not in the bike lane. You are causing a problem. And the white guy calls him the N-word. Well, that did not end well for him. My brother, I'm the calm one. My brother, I'm the diplomat. My brother is not the diplomat. He is, where's my fist? Ready to go. When he was a kid, when we were kids, they would say, Ron, your brother's on the basketball fight, on the basketball courts fighting. Come get your brother. Come get your brother. He's a grown man and still the same way. A little more tolerant of it. But that white guy did not meet a good end. Not with my brother. No. You call him the N-word? You are not going to do well. But what was that? Was that necessary? He was helping you not be in the wrong lane. But they feel the need to always be aggressive and be angry. If you correct them, they get more. It has happened to me several times in New York City. Someone's in the wrong spot, or just riding down the bank. I'm on my bike lane, and white guy was in the bike lane. Had the whole street, because the whole street is shut down. And I'm ringing my bell, bing, 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 bing. And then he gets upset with me because I'm ringing the bell, telling him to get out of the bike lane. And uses the N-word. Why are white men so angry? I don't understand it. You have it all. You have it all. Dr. Tachi says, and angry for no damn reason. And angry for no damn reason. He had a job at the stock exchange and arguably the path laid for him. And he's still angry. What the hell is wrong with his DNA? Says Dr. Tachi. I don't understand. Why are white men so angry? That's a good question. I mean, the FBI obviously has been scrapped. You can't say that that those statistics are no longer there. The most dangerous people, or the most dangerous person demographic, is a white male in America. They are responsible for domestic terrorism. Domestic terror. You don't see. When was the last time you saw a black guy or a black woman or a white woman or a Spanish man? It's almost unheard of. Shoot up a whole, whatever, a concert. People hanging out in Las Vegas, enjoying a concert, and next thing you know, crazy person starts shooting. The demographics, the statistics of the demographic does not lie. We are in a rough patch, but yet they're angry. They're angry. And even in politics, they have the Supreme Court, they have the Senate, they have the House of Representatives, they have the presidency, they have all of these positions, and they're still angry. We got a problem. We got a problem in America. Jesse says they have all the power. Therefore, if the government shuts down, it's on them. Yes, the government shutdown is looming. They got everything. She says, even with all the cheating, folks, they're jealous of steel. Folks, they're jealous of steel rise and create, and most importantly, are joyful. Mm. I am concerned. I tell you, I am concerned for our country because until we fix that problem, and it's always, and this is not the first time in history. This is a continual. So in some cases we can't even. When you really look at the historical line of white man anger, it's not just even now in the present. It was like that in the 60s. It was like that in the 50s. It was like that in the 40s. It was like that in the 20s. It was like that in the early 1900s. It was like that in the 1800s. White men always have to gather into a posse and then do their bidding. We saw it happen. We see it. It's just unbelievable to me. Why are they so angry when they rule the world? Mm-mm-mm. Oh, if you didn't see Don's opening today, make sure you go check it out. Don Lemon show this morning. I mean, he had me going also. I was sitting there like, John, I'm with you 100%. Because I think about this all the time. Why are white men so angry? Why are they so angry? When Joy Reid said it, I was like, hallelujah. Joy Reid broke it down as best. No one has broke it down better than Joy Reid. I tell you, Joy Reid laid it down. You can just put into your Google Joy Reid's condemnation on why white people are angry, but mainly why are white men so angry? Sorry, white folks that are good, the good white folks, but y'all know what we're talking about. Because my white friends always say the same thing. They say, Ron, I don't understand. And they get angry. Yeah. Jazzy says, quantas is something they usually use as a lie. Quotas. DEI is not being talked about in a factual way. Most people don't even know the difference between affirmative action and DEI. We have to start with facts. Jazzy says, we got here we go, there it is. These things are easy to look up. That you have a whole system that doesn't like to do research, and so they repeat the things that these people are lying about, which causes group think. Yep. And it's easy to just go look it up. Again, they live in this ignorance, love the ignorance. They love living in the ignorant bubbles. They love to hate people just to be hating them. They don't even know Black people. Maybe some of these people don't even know people of color. They've never even hung out with people of color. And if they just let down their walls in their ignorance, they may learn something. Bryson says, you know why they angry. They want us back in slavery. And some of them do. Dr. Tully says the answer is probably lie and lineage. Normal human beings who are handed things don't behave this way. Again, I say something is definitely wrong. Something is wrong in America. Derek says, yep, just got finished watching Dawn, Ron. Yes. ROFL. Yeah. It's alarming. And they will have you believe that it's people of color that's the problem. Can I share something with you? Let me see if I can get this on the screen, because this was such a good reminder. Hold on a second. Let me see if I have it. And yeah, here it is. I want you to. Okay, there we go. I love this reminder. I love this girl. Ashley, the E Baroness. I love her. I love her. She goes, the Mexican repatriation in the 1930s, over 1 million people of Mexican descent, many of them U.S. citizens, were rounded up and deported during the Great Depression. They were blamed for job loss and poverty they didn't cause, families torn apart, lives uprooted, and America never apologized. Here it is. Here it is. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because history repeats itself when people don't know their history. The tragedies of history are always doomed to be repeated. We know that everything that this administration, this regime is doing has already been done. Has already been done. What's going on with deportations, the ICE, the getting rid of people in the federal government, all of this has been done before in history. Nothing is new. Not one thing that this regime is doing, administration is doing, nothing they're doing is new. Listen to this. Listen to this. It is quite, you would think you were in 1930, but nothing is new. Nothing is new. Let me get rid of this banner. And just look at my time. Okay, my time is okay, good. But good on time. Here we go.
Loves to pretend that deportations are just about illegals. But let's talk about the 1930s, when this country rounded up over 1 million people of Mexican descent, and most of them were U.S. citizens born here, and still dumped them across the border like trash. So the Great Depression hits. White families are broke. Jobs are gone, and politicians are doing what they always do, scapegoat. This time, it was the Mexican communities. Newspapers smeared them as job thieves. Sound familiar? Politicians promised the economy would bounce back if Mexicans left. So the raids began. Federal agents, local sheriffs, even mayors organized sweeps. They showed up at workplaces, schools, homes. And if you looked Mexican and couldn't prove your citizenship on the spot, you and your family were forced out, loaded onto buses, trains, or caravans headed south. They called it repatriation, like people were going home. But most weren't. Families were threatened, tricked, or just dragged out. And here's the part that should stop you cold. Historians estimate that 60% of those deported were U.S. citizens. Kids born in Los Angeles, Detroit, Chicago. Citizens under the law, dumped in Mexico, a country that many of them had never seen. Some didn't even speak Spanish. So one day you're in school, and the next day, your family is shoved across a border that you've never crossed before. Think about what that does to a community. Families ripped apart, businesses erased, generations displaced. And here's the thing. It didn't even fix unemployment. Not that that's a surprise, of course. White families stayed poor. The economy stayed broken. But scapegoating Mexicans gave people an easy story, that if you just purge the outsiders, then America will heal. It wasn't true then, and it's not true now. The Mexican repatriation.
And there you have it. I mean, nothing is new under the sun, right? Nothing is new. It's the same playbook. It's the same playbook over and over again. Again, we know what happened during the great massacres in the 1920s, when the Depression, and what happened in Tulsa, what happened in Florida, what happened in Georgia. There was hundreds of them. Where white men just get angry when things don't go their way. Why are white men so angry? It's not just even in our time. This has been the MO for decades. Decades. That whenever there's a woe, when economies get bad, they scapegoat others. They went after, and we saw a hint of it, a little hint of it 2 weeks ago. What was it now? 3 weeks ago with Kirk. CK. Those HBCUs did nothing, had nothing to do with CK's unaliving. Nothing. But white folks, young white men all across the country lost their marbles and start threatening Black colleges, Black schools, attacked Black people. They said, I do believe the statistics somebody said, mentioned, correct me if I'm wrong, since that CK, there's been several lynchings. Black men dead by hanging. Why are white men so angry? And why do they get so destructive? Why, when they lose an election, they form a insurrection? That's the biggest question, I think. I think when historians, for people like myself that like history, that love history, why are white men so angry? And it's not, again, it's not just now. It's throughout history. Throughout history. When yet you control everything. Don't know. We can't blame it on the video games because this was going on in the 1920s, 1930s, 1940s, 1950s, 1960s, 1970s, 1980s. There's always been a decade when white men lose their minds with hate towards others. Anyway, let's close out on our Motivation Monday. I just had to talk about it. I just had to talk about it. I had to stimulate the conversation. Why are white men so angry? Cass says, angry because the truth hurts and they can't look at the man in the mirror. Anyone that oppresses people want to control, and when they feel they can lose dollars or control, acting out will happen. Arlesia says targeted. Facts, G. Dr. Tachi says, Chris Rock said that if his mother saw a non-melanated panhandler, she would be like, well, no need for that, and pass by. I'm the same way. I have to confess that. When I see it, I just say, what's your problem? She says, what privilege wasted, as Paul McCartney, Paul Mahoney would say. Dr. Tachi says the answer is probably lies in lineage. Normal human beings who are handed things don't behave this way. I'll say it again. And again, I say something is definitely wrong. I'm going back down. You guys always chime in with some great thoughts. I just don't understand. Centuries. Why are white men so angry? If we can get that answer, we will be a better country. Dang it, my boss called me. She says, and those games share a lot of misogynist images, and they wonder why they have no game with it when it comes to women. It's so true. Mimi says they are detached. Dr. Taji says, it's also a problem when you teach your children that they are the most important person in the world. Nothing else matters to them except themselves. Anthony Rowland says, good morning. G says, I recall reading an article from 2019 about the issue with lonely white men. Lonely white men. As they say, the police people, the folks in law enforcement say, the lone wolf. The lone wolf is not a black person or a white woman or a black woman or an Asian man. Once in a while it happens. The lone wolf in America is a white man. That's the FBI. That's the FBI, right? The FBI says that, not Ron. That's the stats. Arlesia says, did he pick up a white folding chair and hit him? G says, the FBI doesn't have to report it. We see it damn near daily. Cass said, it is not just a computer. Anyone that lacks empathy, there is a cognitive and emotional development lacking. SEL, social emotional learning. And Kaz is a social worker, so she knows what she's speaking of. She knows what she's speaking of. Dr. Tachi says, Jazzy, independent media are shouting from the mountaintops, but let's consider that most people still look to mainstream media for their information. And Kimmy Kim says, I see the behavior a lot where some feel invincible, will walk right in front of a moving car at parking lots and expect the car to stop, or won't step to the side when coming in your direction. Privilege. Yet they love to deflect onto black men. They say we're the angry ones. Statistics say otherwise. Derek says, I think they know they aren't as smart as they think they are, especially when they encounter people of color. Kaz says, it is called a sense of entitlement / control, not generalized. But if the shoe they wear it. Anthony says, they have it all, and they're still yelling about taking the country back. From who? Who has it? Anthony, I say that question all the time. Who are they taking the country back from? Who? Elise says, we can fix the problem. We have nothing to do with it. White people have to fix the problem. Cass says, just like our communities have things to improve, so do others. They have to do it from within and among each other. Elise says they don't want to know the truth. You guys, these comments are great. These comments are really great comments. Jazzy, this is exactly why it's on the media consumer to use a critical eye when consuming media. The mainstream cannot be trusted, but that doesn't also mean believe any old outlet either. I'm just going to post some of these up. They can't live with the fact that their hero has eaten by one of their own. At least it says strange fruit. That's that song. That I'll never forget when I first heard that song. I cried. I cried when I heard that song. It still makes me emotional when I hear strange fruit. Speaking in regards to humans, says Cass. She says, character development, not artificial intelligence, is an issue. Okay, I'm going to give you guys this one last thing, and I'm going to close out with this quote for the week to help you be motivated. I don't want to close out on a dark moment, but I just thought it needed to be talked about. I just don't. I mean, obviously, we don't have the the answer, or I should say, we don't have the ability to correct it. This is a white community problem. White folks need to get their act together. You know, on this subject today, this is what we're talking about. They got to get it together. Okay, here we go. Today, on our wonderful Motivation Monday. Today, if you can get this, you can find this on our Patreon page. If you're not a Patreon member, become one so that we can get all of this information there. Fly, you must fly. You heard that, guys? You must fly. The moment you doubt whether you can fly, you cease forever to be able to do it. Let me say that again. The moment you doubt whether you can fly, you cease forever to be able to do it. This Monday, take flight. Your wings are ready. You were never meant to stay grounded, not in fear, not in hesitation. You were built for altitude, for ideas that soar, for stories that lift others, for moments that defy gravity. So silence the doubt. Lean into your gift and rise. Whether you're launching a new project, sharing your truth, or simply showing up with heart, this is your sky. The world is your sky. Regardless of what's going on in white America and wherever is going on in the world is your sky. Fly, fly. You must fly. Remember that, guys. This sky is yours. Fly. Don't give up. Don't feel like, oh, I'm defeated. There's a lot going on in the world today. And there's a lot to make you feel defeated. But the skies are ours. The skies are yours to fly. You were made for more than you know. Just fly. Don't be defeated. Don't feel defeated. Don't act defeated. Don't be defeated. Fly. Fly, fly, fly. Join our email list today and make sure that you put your name on the email list by going to ronlewisphotos.com. Also, if you're looking for an event photographer, my name is Ron Foster. You can just check it out. Event photography is what I do. That's how I pay for the bills. Again, thank you, Patreon members. Your support helps us create amazing content. And then also join my YouTube channel. Make sure you hit the likes. Make sure you hit the subscribes. If you learned anything today in this conversation with this amazing group of people, I just facilitate the conversations led by the community. Guys, thank you so much for being here. And let me get this screen off here. There we go. Have a wonderful day. Have a great day. And remember, the skies are yours. So fly. Don't be defeated. Don't act defeated. Fly. 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 Hello, and thank you for joining us today. Make sure you hit the like, the subscribe, and leave a comment on this video. I would love to hear from you. Thank you again. Until I see you next time.